Hi everyone, back at it here with another video. So in this video we'll be talking about two macaws, the Illigers macaw and the Spix macaw, and how the one species is helping the other one thrive after it being reintroduced back into the wild in over 20 years. Let's get into it. So the first bird we are talking about is the Illigers macaw. So these guys are also known as the blue-winged macaw. They are found from Brazil down to north, and I hope I'm saying these names right, North Maranhão, and South Para and East Paraguay. Unfortunately, they are no longer found inside of Argentina. And once again, these birds are numerous in game counts that people cannot actually guess their numbers. But saying that, however, they are on a bit of a decline. That's deforestation and hunting for the pet trade and poaching for meat and feathers. These birds are not as common as they were a couple of years ago in captivity, especially down here in South Africa. However, my very first facility I worked at, I had a pair. However, I was never able to get them to breed as they were not a good match for each other. So the male and female just didn't vibe together. And I had them on the exact same diet as I had most of my other macaws. However, their diet didn't need the dog pellets, as even in the wild they eat less grubs than the other macaws do. So these birds have a red forehead. The crown, the nape of the neck, and the lower cheeks are a blue color, with more red onto the lower back and middle of the abdomen. The tail, however, is blue with a reddish brown around the base of the tail. The wings are blue color, which gives them their other name, the blue-winged macaw. Their face is a classic bear macaw, with fine black feathers lining the skin and around their beautiful orange eyes. So these guys are actually helping the next bird that I'm about to tell, and I am going to carry on with how they are helping once I'm done with explaining the next bird. So the next bird is the Spix macaw. These are one of the very few poster children of bringing animals back from the wild and bringing back from extinction and reintroducing back into the wild. These birds were actually the reason why the child movie Rio was made, was to actually bring awareness to these very rare birds. So these extremely rare birds were originally found in the Brazilian skies, I really hope I'm saying this right, this is a long name, Rio São Francisco Valley in Brazil. And thanks to the effort of the Spix macaw breeding program led by a South African gentleman named Cromwell and the Brazilian government, they are starting to fly those skies once again. And this is something amazing, as these birds have been functionally extinct in the wild since the early 2000s, where the last recorded pair in the wild was in 2001. And then there were only two, as far as I know, two individuals left in captivity, similar to how Rio is. And they brought the two together in, actually, not even in Brazil at the time. It was in Saudi Arabia, in a former zoo called Al Wabra, where the Sheikh owned it. And now, since the Sheikh from that time passed away, all the birds were left to this gentleman Cromwell, and he formed the Spix breeding program with the Brazilian government. And now these birds are making a huge comeback from, like I said, being extinct in the wild since 2000. They are now over 300 mature individuals in 2025. That is a massive comeback, and zoos and breeding facilities and breeding programs must be extremely proud of that. And because of that, very few people have seen or even worked with these birds, making most of the breeding information basically top secret, where we know their diets, we know how they're bred, how many eggs they lay, and everything, but I can't tell you. I unfortunately can't tell you because I don't really have the information myself. These birds, however, can live up to estimated about 40 years. But you'll never see them in the pet trade, as they are never in the pet trade, thanks to being owned by the breeding facility in the deep forest of Brazil. But you can see them in very few zoos in Germany, where they are part of the breeding program and part of being underneath Cromwell. These birds, fully grown, are 56 centimeters in full length from head to tail tip, with a dark blue back and wings, with a grayish blue head and beautiful green eyes, with the classic black beak. So how these two birds are linked is that in the program, when they are, because they get that, when they breed these birds, they get these birds to breed a lot. They are able to pull the younglings and hand rear them, but at the same time they pull the Illiger macaw babies that they breed at the same facility and hand rear them too. And because they put the two birds together, they are taught the exact same thing: how to eat, what to eat, what not to eat, where to fly, where not to fly, roosting spaces, everything. They are literally, the Illigers are literally teaching the Spix macaw species the natural habits, and upon release, those exact same birds are being shown by the Illigers what's safe, what's not safe, where they should go, where they shouldn't go. And also, these birds, they don't really fly far from the facility anymore. So around the facility there are hundreds of Illigers and Spix, and that has made the greatest news of any aviculturalist in the world, that these birds have come back. And it's a good point to end this video on. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys like, share, subscribe, and comment below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.